Well, this is going to be probably one of the more depressing episodes of the Eatin Asphalt podcast.
Yep. On a positive note, we're live, baby.
Yeah.
Video.
What
The
a
perfect time to start it.
Really had it mapped out well for us to pick the time to start a new thing for a weekend. It's like F1 was like, oh, they're going to do video podcast. Why don't we cancel this weekend then?
Give them something really to talk about.
Let's really send a message.
Yeah.
But we are live video thanks to our wonderful intern Bella, hopefully, who's killing this. It's a weekend that wasn't. It's a weekend that wasn't Imola. We were all excited. Too long of a break since the Chinese Grand Prix was canceled, and then we had Miami. Some people said Miami was a snoozer, and now Italy, what people were looking forward to, is canceled. So we have been on a bit of a dry spell, which is ironic because it is pretty wet over there in Italy.
Okay, didn't know where you're going with that one, but way to bring it home.
All right. This is typically the part of the podcast where we talk about all the things that we're going to cover, but really the only thing that we're going to talk about is news. So
yeah.
Let's get into that.
Yeah, and good thing that like the news has just really been popping off for Formula One as well. Like it's just tough to pick like the important things going on in Formula One. We got the race gone, we got all these side things really not happening. So it's perfect.
Yeah, we maybe should have just like taken a vacation.
Everyone did this. I mean, the first quarter of Formula One, this is basically a vacation. Racing once a month, like isn't the worst.
Oh, let's get into it. Start us off with news, Marco.
All right. Well, as everyone knows, what we're talking about is the race in Imola is canceled due to extreme flooding. They didn't really necessarily say if it's going to be postponed or fully canceled, but just looking at the schedule in the back half, there's a lot of triple headers, a lot of double headers. I don't think that this is going to get fit in. And I don't think people kind of think the same thing as well. Just a lot of time and effort and coordination to kind of slide something in like that. And yeah, like I said, it's pretty jam-packed in the second half. So for how light it was in the first half of the season and how like these like a race once every 3 weeks, it is not like that on the second half. So if you like Formula One, if you like racing and getting up early as an American, you're going to have plenty of that in the second half. And on top of that, always kind of like cool to find out the drivers who, go the extra mile. And I think it was a bit of a surprise to myself. Yuki was up and out cleaning the flooded street. So yeah, like kind of a sweeper, getting some like flooded water out from a flooded like street. So I don't know if it's going to help that much, but he was out there. He was trying. So like huge condolences. Nope, wrong word. Huge like tip of the cap to the little guy.
Nice. There's a like angel on my shoulder and then a devil on the other shoulder. The angel is like, man, you love to see drivers like you said, going the extra mile, helping out. And the devil on my shoulder is like, isn't this like your, like a little 7-year-old dumping a little cup of water on like a raging fire, kind of like, what is he really doing? But
like, a little bit, you got a little bit.
He's helping, but yeah, it's just Yuki. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, oh, they're making a difference. But
so like if Vettel was still here and he was in it, I was like, dude, like I bet like the race is probably going to be still on. Like he's definitely going to do some massive changes here. He's going to have like his environmental crew come in and like snap of the finger, weather's gone.
Yeah. All right, next piece of news. Ferrari and Mercedes. I know you probably haven't heard this before, but they have some upgrades coming. So you should really, yeah. Ferrari is good to go.
Red Bull, good luck, buddies.
Mercedes and Ferrari are going to be taking it to Red Bull with these upgrades, as the upgrades always do. They're always a big factor in changing up the championship order. So, yeah, congrats to them on, I would say one of them, congratulations on winning the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, no, like I'm glad that they waited until Red Bull was like a good chunk of change ahead, over double from Aston Martin already. So it gives them like a lot of time to like have the slow, dramatic comeback. Probably they timed it up saying like, oh, it'll usually come down to the final race. So yeah, just strategists to the nth degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was looking into this a little bit as well. They had Aston Martin kind of talking about, they're the Green Bull now. They've been like really hopping pretty closely to what Red Bull has been saying. And they were kind of saying like, if Mercedes and Ferrari is going to try to do like this, hey, we're going to copy Red Bull kind of situation, it's not as easy as it sounds. Like it basically was like the concept is so different from what they're currently using that like you have to full buy-in. And like the thing that Aston Martin ran into is they're using Mercedes. They're using like Mercedes engine, gearbox, rear suspensions. Mercedes is going to have that same problem. Ferrari is going to have their same problem of not using like the Honda or like the Red Bull, like that back package. So they're just saying like doing these packages, if they're going to copy Red Bull, is do it sooner rather than later. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. And like, you cannot expect it to be like, hey, this is going to be what Red Bull is showing. It's just, there's too many other variables that they can't copy and mimic that it's going to create a little bit of maybe a frustration of being like, hey, like we should be as fast as Max, but we're still like, he's still lapping us. So hopefully that's not as bad of a, like it obviously is going to cut the gap. I don't say obviously, but like it hopefully will cut the gap. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like, hey, we're back, boys.
It's a bit of a defeatist attitude from like an outsider's perspective of just like, hey guys, what we're gonna create is not gonna come close to what Red Bull already has. So let's go ahead and just like mimic Red Bull in everything.
Yeah.
But
hey, yeah, I mean, it was, and how cool it was when they did these entire car like complete rehaul a couple of years ago, seeing the Ferrari, how different it was, seeing the no sidebars for Mercedes, Red Bull doing this thing, like all these cars came into the like and completely different. And now it's just saying like, hey, we like laid everything out. We're starting to like kind of get that data back. And it looks like Red Bull did the right thing. And it's all going to start kind of looking the same like we saw in the previous version of cars.
Yeah.
All right. Well, kind of sad thinking about that, but hopefully it actually makes closer racing. We're going to find out not this weekend, but hopefully next weekend for both Mercedes and Ferrari. Moving on to our rumor mill. Already silly season kind of coming around. Obviously the most popular name not on the grid, Danny Ricciardo, rumor swirling that he's going to take De Vries' spot for the second part of the year. As much as I love Danny and like hope to see him back in Formula One, I don't know if this makes sense. Like Nick De Vries is a rookie, and we got to think about that. And I was looking at like, obviously him and Logan are the only two guys to not score a point, but there's a good chunk of people that have 4 points and below. So like, it's not like they're like Piastri has 4 points, Yuki has 2 points. So like, if you're looking at De Vries comparing it to Yuki, like, sure, Yuki has shown that he's doing a little bit better, but point stock, and if he's got 2 more points, I don't know if they're going to be a little quick to be like, this guy sucks, unless they're doing a lot of testing with him and they're just like, he just does not have it. But I mean, last year he scored points. He scored over double the points when he came in for Williams and did a pretty good outing, coming in 9th place.
Yeah, I think this was the rumor mill in Formula One can obviously go so crazy. I'm pretty sure Danny was just like in the city where AlphaTauri is based for like a wedding or something. And so people saw him there and then saw Nick De Vries have a bad weekend. And then they were like, oh, well, it's gotta mean that he's
there
coming.
For that.
Exactly.
They set a wedding up around it to throw people off,
Right.
That's smart.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't buy it. I feel, again, we've talked about it before, but if you're Danny Ricciardo right now, you stay right where you are. You're getting paid a lot of money to not have any of the pressure and have all the fun. You're still kind of not in the spotlight, but like kind of on the periphery, making money, doing fun stuff, doing wild stuff with Red Bull marketing. Like, he basically hacked Formula One to have the perfect job. I don't know if you would change the perfect job for a seat at AlphaTauri.
Yeah. Yeah. For how much like a lot of talk has been going around the paddock and a lot of disgruntled people about AlphaTauri, like bringing him into a situation that might have an overhaul. He's going to be a part of that overhaul probably. So he's like, comes in for half a year and they're like, hey, we got to change everything. He's like, but I just got here.
Yeah. All right. Finally, let's talk about, did you know, Marco, there is a bit of a rivalry between F1 and IndyCar, kind of more tension than there normally is. Do you know that was going on?
I've seen a lot of people like kind of the patrons really trying to push one sport or the other. So I've seen that's been picking up quite a bit. People don't understand the F1 hype compared to IndyCar. So yeah, it's been teetering up on my timeline a little bit.
Definitely us peasants at the bottom of the totem pole, kind of like trying to convince one side or the other to convert from F1 to IndyCar or vice versa. But now we have some drama at the top of the rung here. So it's over Indy 500's tagline, which is the greatest spectacle in racing. So Indy 500 for a long time, it's been considered to be part of the Triple Crown of motorsport, right? Like Le Mans, the Monaco Grand Prix, Indy 500 are kind of like the three crown jewels of racing. So since 1954, Indy 500 has had the claim that, quote, they are the, quote, greatest spectacle in racing. That's Indy 500's mark. It's their intellectual property. They've tagged it forever. They've got a trademark. Now, thanks to fucking LL Cool J spewing bullshit at the Miami Grand Prix when he's introducing drivers. He said, "What's up, he said, this is a quote. What's up, Miami? Let me introduce you to the top 20 best drivers in the world. This is the greatest spectacle in motorsports. This is Formula One," which is sort of similar to like Wendy's offering a new sandwich and calling it the Big Mac and telling you to like enjoy it and have it your way. And like this was like not, it's not cool that they're, Formula One is like perceived to be overstepping their bounds. This has gone all the way up to the top of Penske Entertainment, who is the group that owns Motorcar or IndyCar rather. They came out with a statement saying the CEO of Penske Entertainment said that is a crock of shit. He's like the greatest spectacle in racing is in Indianapolis. It's like really delicate way to put that. But yeah, F1 and IndyCar at each other's throats. I think this because they already had like a little hiccup in Vegas about this where they said the greatest spectacle something, but like greatest spectacle is the trademark of Indianapolis. So they already use it in Vegas. LL Cool J messed it up for him. And I think if like the rumors are if like there's a third offense, then there's going to be a lawsuit of like trademark infringement. So thoughts on that? Whose side are you on?
Dude, I'm not on Indy, dude, but Indy crock of shit. That place fucking sucks. Let's say that. Go Titans. Great. Like, is it the greatest spectacle in racing? Is that the tagline, or is it greatest spectacles? Because if we're gonna do greatest spectacle, that is horseshit. Just be like, we cover this. So I can't be like greatest spectacle in X, Like, do they give just those two words together? Because he said greatest spectacle in motorsport. He didn't say in racing.
Right. That's true.
Those are different sentences.
That's true. And I watched the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway talk about like, look, you can like mix in the different jumbles of the words, but like greatest spectacle in racing is like what we are. If you call it something greatest spectacle of motorsport, it's like that's basic. I mean, what does motorsport do? They race. So
then, dude, all right. So this sentence kind of like spouts off to a list of 100 different variations of said sentence. They got to grow up. I don't know. That's ridiculous.
I don't know, man. Indy 500 is coming up this weekend or next weekend, the weekend of the Monaco Grand Prix. So if nothing else, they're just drumming up a little bit of PR.
Dude, I would love. I don't know how to do this. I'll have to like chat GPT this. I need to see viewership between the both and see like really what we're comparing on two of like the biggest weekends for both of the sports.
I think it's like the TV viewership, it's not even close. But in person, I think Indy 500, like the 100th running was the biggest sporting event in history, like the biggest sporting event in history in terms of attendance.
Attendance, right. Yeah, but I mean, it's also like a fucking massive
it's a city within a city. Yeah.
Monaco is like people are like standing on top of like light poles to see. It's just fucking packed on this tiny little town.
Yeah. No, but that's true. They should make that like over the next 10 years, whoever has more viewership, both in attendance and in like, on TV gets to keep the greatest spectacle, like greatest spectacle championship
on both streams. So like if you're watching the Indy 500 or Monaco, you join and it'll show you the viewership numbers versus each other as they like go up. It's like as if Monaco starts getting really boring, you start seeing that drop and then Indy car starts going up. I think that would be cool. Get a little side by side. I don't think this is going to be at the same time, so probably impossible to do. But maybe they should say, "Fuck it, let's go head to head, mano y mano."
You can always give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's what we got for this episode of the podcast.
They're pulling at straws at some of these.
Yeah, we are. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I think even the bottom of the barrel doesn't have anything left. So, on the horizon, we have Monaco coming up next week. That's something to look forward to. At least Saturday is, and other than that, I think we just keep on keeping on. We let's hope that the season turns around. I feel like, not the season as a whole, but let's just hope we get a little more. I feel like the excitement, the flair of the Formula One season hasn't like kicked in yet, but it's coming. Don't you worry.
I'm worried. If Red Bull just keeps pulling Red Bull, it scares me. This goddamn fuckers.
It's a good quote. That's a good quote. Goddamn fuckers, Marco. All right, everybody. Appreciate you listening, and we'll see you for the Monaco Grand Prix.
In next week.
See you, assholes.
Hey, thought you could leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I lived my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.